Hello, and welcome to this Pick a Pile reading. Take a moment to settle in and look over the piles in front of you. You may feel drawn to a specific pile immediately, or you may notice your attention returning to one more than the others. Choose the pile that feels right to you intuitively, and as always, only take what resonates with you. Pile 1. Through the Nature Seasons Oracle. Vastness and possibility, sky. This pile feels connected to emotional expansion, perspective shifts, and realizing that your future may hold more possibility than you originally believed. The sky speaks about openness and removing limitations, especially limitations created by fear, uncertainty, or past emotional experiences. Something here feels like it is beginning to open again after a period of emotional heaviness or emotional narrowing. The Six of Cups suggests this situation is strongly connected to emotional memory, familiarity, or a connection that still carries emotional significance beneath the surface. For some of you, this may involve a person from the past, but for others, this may simply reflect an emotional cycle or version of yourself that you are revisiting with greater awareness now. There is something very reflective about this energy. You may find yourself thinking about what could have been, what still matters to you emotionally, or what parts of yourself became attached to this connection in the first place. The emotional tone here feels soft rather than chaotic, even if there are still unresolved feelings present. The Ace of Wands brings a noticeable shift in energy. After a longer period of emotional reflection or emotional pause, something begins reigniting internally. This could show up through communication, inspiration, emotional motivation, or simply feeling more alive within yourself again. There is movement beginning to build here, but it feels natural rather than forced. The Six of Swords suggests transition and emotional movement away from confusion or heaviness. Some of you may already feel internally detached from an older emotional cycle, even if part of you is still emotionally processing what it meant to you. This feels less like sudden closure and more like gradually finding peace with something that once felt difficult to fully understand. At the same time, the Two of Cups shows that emotional connection is still important within this situation. There is mutuality here, or at least the desire for emotional understanding and reciprocity. For some of you, this may involve reconciliation or reconnecting emotionally, while for others it may simply reflect becoming more emotionally aligned within yourself after confusion. Judgment feels especially important as the final card, because it speaks about awakening and seeing something clearly after a long period of uncertainty. There is strong self-reflection throughout this pile. You may be understanding yourself, another person, or the emotional truth of this situation differently than before. Overall, this pile feels connected to emotional renewal, perspective shifts, and slowly opening yourself back up to possibilities that once felt distant or difficult to believe in. There still feels like room here for emotional clarity or understanding to continue developing. Not necessarily through dramatic changes, but through reflection, small realizations, and gradual emotional movement over time. Pile 2. Through the Nature Seasons Oracle. Transformation and rebirth, butterfly. This pile feels deeply connected to personal growth, emotional transformation, and leaving behind older emotional versions of yourself. The butterfly reflects change that develops gradually. It is not rushed, and it often happens internally long before external circumstances fully catch up to it. There is strong energy here of emotional shedding. Some of you may be realizing that certain dynamics, expectations, or emotional attachments no longer fit who you are becoming now. This does not necessarily mean you no longer care, but rather that your emotional needs and emotional understanding are evolving. The Nine of Cups reflects emotional desire and emotional fulfillment, but also deeper reflection around what truly satisfies you now. Some of you may have achieved something you once wanted emotionally, only to realize it did not fully resolve the deeper feelings underneath. Others may be recognizing that emotional fulfillment cannot come entirely through another person if inner emotional balance is still missing. The Hanged Man creates a pause within the reading that feels important. There may be delays, emotional uncertainty, or situations where things feel suspended for now. However, this energy does not feel pointless. It feels reflective. Something about your perspective is changing slowly, and because of that, your emotional decisions may also begin changing over time. The Five of Swords suggests previous emotional conflict, misunderstandings, or situations where communication may have become draining or emotionally unhealthy. Some of you may still be carrying emotional exhaustion connected to situations where things became too complicated, defensive, or difficult to resolve peacefully. At the same time, this pile does not feel stuck in that energy forever. The Ace of Pentacles brings grounding and the possibility of something healthier beginning to develop. This could reflect a new opportunity, a healthier emotional foundation, or reconnecting with stability within yourself after emotional turbulence. The Ace of Cups feels especially significant here because it reflects emotional reopening after a difficult chapter. This is not the type of healing that erases the past, but rather the kind that allows you to feel emotionally open again without carrying the same heaviness. For some of you, this may reflect new love entering your life eventually. For others, it may reflect emotional renewal within yourself first before relationships around you begin changing more clearly. Overall, this pile feels connected to deep emotional transformation and slowly becoming the version of yourself that no longer wants to settle for emotionally draining situations simply because they once felt familiar. There is a growing awareness here of what truly supports your emotional well-being and what no longer feels aligned with the person you are becoming. Pile 3. Through the Nature Seasons Oracle. Vision and Foresight, Eagle. This pile feels strongly connected to direction, long-term perspective, and becoming more intentional about where your life is heading. The eagle reflects vision and awareness, especially the ability to recognize patterns or outcomes before they fully arrive. There is a sense that you are beginning to see a situation more clearly now than before. The Chariot brings strong forward-moving energy into this pile. You may feel increasingly motivated to regain control over your direction, emotions, or personal circumstances. Something within you seems less willing to remain stagnant now. Even if progress feels gradual externally, internally there is a stronger sense of determination building. Justice reflects truth, balance, and emotional accountability. Situations that once felt confusing may slowly begin making more sense. Some of you may be reaching important realizations about fairness, reciprocity, or what truly feels balanced within your relationships and personal life. There is also strong mental energy surrounding this pile. The Page of Swords suggests observation, curiosity, and trying to fully understand a situation before making decisions. Communication may feel cautious at times, or there may be situations where someone is watching more than speaking openly right now. This energy feels thoughtful, but also slightly restless. The Seven of Pentacles slows the reading down again and reminds you that some situations require patience before full results become visible. You may currently be in a stage where effort has already been invested, but clarity around the final outcome is still developing gradually. For some of you, this pile may reflect frustration with timing, wanting movement while also understanding that certain things cannot be rushed. The Knight of Wands shifts the energy again toward confidence, action, and stronger momentum returning. After a longer period of waiting, reflection, or emotional uncertainty, this card suggests movement beginning to pick up speed. This may involve communication, travel, personal ambition, or simply feeling more energized and motivated within yourself again. Overall, this pile feels connected to regaining direction, trusting your instincts more fully, and understanding that long-term clarity sometimes develops slowly before suddenly accelerating forward all at once. There is a strong sense here of stepping into a more confident version of yourself, especially after a period of uncertainty, waiting, or emotional hesitation. Something about this pile feels forward-moving, but in a more intentional way than before. Rather than rushing into decisions, you may be learning how to trust your own timing and recognize which paths genuinely align with where you want your life to go moving forward. Thank you for spending this moment here with me. Take care of yourself. I'm grateful you watched this reading, and I hope it supported you in some way.